Welcome to F-Bomb Friday. I am your host, Tracy Preston, along with my husband, Todd. Hey, hon.
Hey, baby.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Let's hit it. Winter comes differently to the Upper Peninsula. It doesn't arrive all at once. It stalks you. First, the lake wind sharpens, no longer playful, no longer embracing, but cutting, as if testing your resolve. Then the snow begins to linger, not the postcard kind, not that sparkling Christmas card snow. Oh no. This snow is heavy, wet snow. Snow that buries fence posts and swallows trail markers. Snow that erases distance and direction, and eventually silence. In the dead of a UP winter, sound doesn't travel the way it should. The woods absorb it. Trees stand frozen mid-gesture, even like Superior, vast, ancient Superior, goes quiet beneath its ice, like something holding its breath. Locals will tell you when it gets too quiet, that's when you should turn around, because there are things in the UP that don't hibernate, things that have learned how to wait. And among these are the oldest of stories, older than logging camps, older than mining towns, older than Michigan itself. On today's episode of F-Bomb Friday, we tell you the tales of the ice-bound giants. They go by many names. Some logging journals call them snow men. Not the childish kind, but men made of snow and ice. Ojibwe oral histories speak of frozen men, massive and ancient, bound to the deep winter. French trappers whispered about the frozen giants, who walked only when the cold was cruel enough. And then there are the modern names. Names spoken half jokingly in bars and deer camps. Names spoken quietly when the fire dies down. Ice-bound giants. Snow walkers. The white men of the woods. Whatever you call them, the stories agree on one thing: they do not belong to summer. They do not belong to us. And when winter tightens its grip, that's when they wake. The earliest written accounts appear in the mid-1800s, during the copper and iron rushes that dragged men into places they were never meant to settle. Logging camps spring up deep in the forests, temporary towns of desperation and bravado. Men worked long, brutal hours, surrounded by endless trees and endless cold, convincing themselves that anything strange could be blamed on exhaustion or whiskey, until it couldn't. In an 1873 journal attributed to a timber cruiser near the Kinawa Peninsula, there is a passage that stops abruptly mid-sentence. The final intact entry reads, "Tracks appeared again this morning, too large for a bear, stride too long for a man, snow compacted as if pressed by weight beyond reason. Men refuse to follow them. I would too, if I were wiser." Now the journal ends there. Nearby camps reported something similar that winter. An entire logging crews abandoning their sites overnight. Tools left behind. Fires still smoldering. No sign of struggle, just absence. At first, supervisors blamed cabin fever, scurvy, mutiny. But then, bodies began to turn up, frozen solid, standing upright, faces locked in expressions that witnesses refused to describe. The footprints are always the first sign. Not clawed like a bear, not shod like a man, but bare, human-shaped feet. If human feet were 4 feet long and pressed so deeply into the snow that ice cracked beneath them. Hunters describe finding single lines of tracks crossing miles of wilderness without deviation. No wandering, no circling, just a straight, purposeful path through the forest, swamp, and frozen river alike. Each step was spaced impossibly far apart, as if whatever made them did not need to hurry. Now, descriptions of the icebound giants vary, but only slightly. They are always huge, 18 to 20 feet tall by most estimates, though some accounts claim taller. Their builds are not bulky like a bear's, nor lean like a deer's, but heavy, dense, like something carved from packed snow and stone. Their skin is described as pale blue, grayish white, or translucent, sometimes rimmed with frost. Witnesses say moonlight passes through them strangely, as if refracted by ice. Hair, when visible, hangs in long, matted sheets, stiff with frozen moisture. Beards are common. Faces are often described as cracked, rough, blurred, as if erosion never quite stopped. The eyes are the worst part. Not glowing, not monstrous, just empty. Like spheres of ice, like deep snow shadows that reflect no firelight at all. Ojibwe stories predate every written account and paint a broader, more unsettling picture. These beings are not simply creatures, but forces, manifestations of winter itself. They are said to have emerged during the first great cold, when the world hardened and survival demanded respect for balance. In some stories, the giants were once guardians, keepers of the deep forest, ensured that no one took too much, that no one hunted too greedily, or lingered too long when winter demanded retreat. Because balance is fragile. As the stories go, when humans begin to scar the land, cutting endlessly, mining recklessly, burning without thought, the giants changed. Ice thickened around their hearts. They withdrew deeper into the winter, appearing only during the harshest seasons, not as protectors, but as reminders. Encounters almost always follow the same pattern. First comes the cold, sharper than forecast, sudden and biting. Then the silence. No birds, no wind through the branches. Even snow seems to stop falling. Then the sense of being watched. Those who turn around sometimes catch a glimpse, a pale shape between trees, too tall, too still. Others hear something worse, the sound of ice shifting under weight, slow and deliberate, pacing them from a distance. And then there are the ones who don't get a chance to turn around. One of the most disturbing modern accounts comes from the winter of 1968 near the Porcupine Mountains. Two snowmobilers failed to return from a short afternoon ride. Search parties found their machines upright, engines cold, keys still in the ignition. There were no signs of a crash, no drag marks, no blood, just footprints. Snowmobile tracks ended abruptly, as if the riders had dismounted willingly. From there, only massive barefoot impressions continued. The official report blamed exposure and scavengers. But one searcher later admitted, quietly, that the footprints did not circle. They did not wander. They went straight into the trees. Ice-bound giants is a recurring image across northern North America and northeastern Atlantic indigenous traditions. Enormously tall, humanoid, winter-tide monsters whose hearts are literally ice. They are often cannibalistic and embody winter's hunger, starvation, and the social danger of isolation. Unlike the Wendigo, the ice-bound giants do not hunt. They wait. They are rarely described as aggressive in the way we understand predators. They don't chase. They don't roar. They don't attack camps in fits of violence. They collect. Those who vanish are often people already vulnerable, like lost hikers, injured hunters, drunks wandering home through snowstorms, lone snowshoers pushing past daylight. It is said the giants prefer those who ignore warnings, those who assume the woods belong to them. And once taken, no one truly knows what happens next. Some folklore suggest the victims freeze where they stand, becoming part of the giant itself. Another layer of ice and memory. Others say the giants carry them to frozen hollows deep in the forest. Others say the giants carry them to frozen hollows deep in the forest where bodies are arranged upright, facing north, like offerings to winter. Now, search parties have found such places. They don't talk about them. There are places in the UP locals won't visit after the first heavy snowfall. Certain ridge lines, certain stands of old growth cedar, frozen bogs that never quite thaw. Hunters know them by feel. Snow falls differently there. Sound behaves wrong. Compasses stutter. And sometimes you can hear something breathing, slow, measured, patient, like ice expanding. Skeptics point to hypothermia hallucinations, misidentified bears, exaggerated folklore. And in summer, that's an easy argument to make. But winter changes the rules. In winter, people disappear. In winter, tracks appear where they shouldn't. In winter, the UP reminds you just how small you are. And every year, when the snow piles high enough and the cold settles deep enough into the bones of the land, someone always says the same thing. Feels like a giant winter. If the ice-bound giants are real, and many in the Upper Peninsula believe they are, then perhaps the most terrifying part is this. They don't need to hunt us. They only need to wait. Winter does the rest. So, if you ever find yourself deep in the UP woods, miles from town, and the forest suddenly goes quiet, if the wind dies, if your breath fogs too thick, if you feel heavy vibrations in the snow beneath your feet, if you feel as if you're being watched, turn back. Because some things walk only in winter, and some footsteps are not meant to be followed. And that, friends, is where this episode's trail ends. Somewhere beyond the pines, beyond the white-out horizon, beyond the reach of the headlights and GPS signals, the Upper Peninsula keeps its frozen secrets. Every winter, the snow stacks a little higher. The wind carves new scars into the landscape, and Lake Superior tightens its icy grip, like something alive, something waiting. Maybe the giants have always been up there, older than the mining camps, older than the tribes, older than the glaciers, just watching, just waiting. Maybe the screams in the storm aren't the wind. Maybe those ridges aren't hills. Maybe those shapes stepping across the lake in the dead of night aren't tricks of distance. We measure the UP in miles, but its creatures measure in centuries. The ice-bound giants are awake, and winter, well, it's far from over. Oh, that story's a little frightening.
Just a little. It's kind of a chilling story, isn't it?
Ba-dum-bum. Well, I have to tell you, I have never been in the UP in the winter. Only late fall once, and then, of course, in the summer. But never in the wintertime.
Yes. Winter can be very, very brutal up north Michigan.
And guess what?
What?
We're not ever going to go.
I would like to go up to Mackinac Island one time during the winter. Just
You
once.
can't.
Just once, yeah.
You can't.
Snowmobiles?
You got a snowmobile?
No.
Yeah, you have to own one of those. I don't think they rent them. I mean, I know, there's people that do stay, they're residents, they do stay on the island all winter long, and I wouldn't want to do that either. That's
Right.
brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal. I honestly can't even imagine how brutally cold that is.
We talked about giants on the show before, and it's been pretty well proven that giants did not exist in Michigan or any other place for that matter. I think the story more references like a metaphorical spirit nature type being.
The cold of winter will kill you, will get you.
Right.
I'm waiting for you.
Right.
You're staying a little too long.
Yeah. And if you go back to the Native American legends, it's the embodiment of winter. It's the spirit of winter. Unforgiving and can be very punishing.
Yeah, and the artwork that you did for this, the imagery of that just sticks in my mind. And it's, like I mentioned when we just started chatting, it's very frightening. And definitely would be a fantastic character in a movie.
Yeah, you can just kind of see this 20-foot tall frost giant kind of lumbering through the frozen north and knocking over trees, but slowly walking,
So you don't even notice it's moving.
Right.
Yeah, and it's, as I was reading the story, because my brain always goes to blood and gore, but that's not what happens. It's like they just are absolutely frozen in time.
Right. And there's a lot of similarities between the Wendigo and the icebound giants in folklore. Now, they say that the icebound giants are cannibalistic. The main difference is that the Wendigo hunts. The ice giants don't have to. They're just opportunists. They will wait. They'll wait it out. They wait for their prey to be available, basically. They are looking for the ones that are already compromised. People that are lost, people that are alone, people that are weak, people that are sick, which in the wintertime happens often.
They just basically claim them.
Right.
And they just become a part of the frozen tundra.
Right. And, part of the legend is they basically get absorbed into the giant, which increases the giant's size. So, which makes sense, sucking up people into the ice belly.
I don't want to ever go up there in the wintertime. Nope.
And it's not without irony that the show will be airing as we have a flash freeze warning in the lower peninsula. I guess it's a little kiss from the northern giants. In the morning, when this show airs, we're going to be covered with ice.
It's going to be slickery dickory out there, folks.
Yes, so be careful.
Drive careful. Take your time. It's all right to be late. Or go really early.
Yeah, don't let the ice giants get you.
Yeah, take her easy. Well, it was a great story, hon. I love it. Never heard of it. And I'm certain most people haven't heard of it either.
Right. It's more of oral history than anything.
But guess what?
What?
It's recorded now.
It's recorded now.
Bringing it to the masses.
That's right.
That's right. What do you want to sign us out, hon?
I sure do. You better lock your doors. You better lock your windows. And you might just want to check under your bed.
And if I see that solitary ice dude under there, I'm getting a freaking ice pick. Yeah. Not today.
Not today, ice giant.
That's right. I'm not the one. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. We will see you again on Malice Monday.
We will see you on Monday.